Andrew Tate reacts to Jake Paul defeating Mike Tyson and says he would be interested in fighting Jake next.
I think Jake Paul, he beat like a 60-year-old Mike Tyson.
He did, yes.
I think he's going to beat Biden next. But let's say he would call you to fight. Would you take it?
Yeah, I mean, Jake and I actually talk. He's an all right guy. There was a time we were talking about fighting each other, and I think if this arrest didn't happen, it probably would have come to fruition. We'll see what happens in the future. We'll see. Perhaps. It's possible. There's nothing's yes. We'll see. I'll escape this Matrix attack, and perhaps if he needs to be taught a lesson, I'll be the guy to teach him a lesson.
Imagine like a main event, like Hasbullah on one side, you and Jake on the other. It's a tag team match.
Tag team, me and Hasbullah against Logan and Jake.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that's about fair.
Oh, yeah.
No, but Jake's an okay guy. I mean, he's putting boxing on the map. To be fair to him, to be fair to the guy, he can sell tickets.
Yes.
And it's amazing what we were talking earlier about sales.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody, and this is with all due respect, nobody should give a shit about watching a 60-year-old fight a 27-year-old. But Jake can make them care.
Yeah.
And because he can make them care, he gets paid more than most boxers will ever make in their entire careers for one fight.
Good for him.
Which shows the sales potential he has.
Yeah.
And everything in life is sales, which is why the things that you teach and the things we teach in the real world are so important, because we're moving away from the era of it's what you do as opposed to it's who you are.
Yeah.
Like lots of people can sit and talk on a microphone, but when we do it, it matters. When most people do it, it doesn't. It's not what you do anymore. It's who's doing it.
So Andrew Tate versus Jake Paul in a boxing match. Who wins? Probably Jake Paul, but this is what I can say. Andrew Tate will 1000% give Jake a tougher fight than 58-year-old Mike Tyson. Now, I know a lot of people will disagree with me there. A lot of people will say I'm stupid. Andrew Tate is an actual kickboxer. You know, this won't even be a fight. Andrew would completely destroy him. And I have to disagree 1000%. You know, I think if you would have asked me this question 3 years ago, I would have said Andrew Tate, but with what's going on in Andrew Tate's personal life, I don't know how much time he has to train and train consistently and hard the way Jake Paul has the last few years, fighting guys like Tyrone Woodley, Nate Diaz, Anderson Silva. I mean, say what you want about Jake, but he's gotten a lot better in these last few years. He's also a lot younger than Andrew Tate, and he's also been training solely on boxing versus Andrew Tate. He's a kickboxer. You know, if this was a kickboxing match, of course I'm going with Andrew Tate. But in a boxing match, you would be a fool to say Jake Paul doesn't have the edge. Now, there was also talks, I believe, early this year or late 2023 of them having a sparring match. It never actually happened, but this is how the conversation went.
You know what we should do, Jake? While you're next training, I know you're only 18 days away from a fight, but next time you're training and you want some sparring, fly to Romania and we'll spar. And we'll film it, and we'll decide if we want to release it or not afterwards. But I have no problem. We can have a sparring match anytime. That's easy,
let's
right?
do it. Let's do it, guys.
I'm down for that, but we can't. But we can't release it for free. That's like it's like giving the people what they want for nothing. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I would love to. You know, I'll spar too for you with you guys. Fuck, Jake. Let's just go to Romania. We'll go 50-50 on the jet. We'll go to Romania, Jake, and I'll spar. We could do a threesome spar. I'm with it.
Why do you make everything sound weird?
Okay, so let's just ignore what Aiden just said, but it sounds like the sparring match never happened, and you kind of heard Jake kind of hint to it, is the business. Jake doesn't want to give the people what they want. I mean, you heard him say it. He doesn't want to give the people what they want for free because Jake knows the big business behind this fight. Andrew Tate versus Jake Paul is a massive fight for both Jake and Andrew. I mean, people want to see Andrew get knocked out, and people also want to see Jake get knocked out as well. That's what makes this fight so big. But Jake Paul is definitely eyeing his next opponent after that Mike Tyson fight. And I know Andrew Tate is certainly on that list somewhere. I think that's why, again, this sparring match never happened. Jake wants to make money off this fight and a lot of money off this fight, which they will, let's be honest. And speaking of the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, Andrew Tate actually gave his thoughts of the fight prior to when it happened, and Andrew Tate was not happy this fight was taking place. Take a look.
Would you fight Mike Tyson?
Again, no, because he's now old. And I would be an absolutely tragic shame to knock out an old version of his prime self. That doesn't feel fair, you know? Prime Tyson would have ripped me apart in a boxing match. I'm not a boxer, right?
Yeah.
Perhaps if I was a boxer and I was heavier, maybe I can make up a bunch of stories. But the truth is I'm a kickboxer and it's his rule set and he was Mike Tyson. He would have beaten me, so to beat him when he's past his prime just feels dishonorable and I'd feel dirty for doing that. So there's no amount of money on the planet that could convince me to fight Mike Tyson.
So obviously Andrew was not happy that this fight was taking place, and maybe Andrew can go and get some revenge for Mike Tyson, the same way Mike Tyson did for Muhammad Ali when Larry Holmes destroyed Muhammad Ali and embarrassed him. Before Mike Tyson fought Larry Holmes, Muhammad Ali whispered in his ear and he told him to get his revenge for him, and that's exactly what Mike Tyson did. He destroyed and dismantled Larry Holmes. Maybe Andrew does the same thing for Tyson. You know, I know that's kind of far-fetched, but you never know. I think I also have to mention that Andrew literally said in that clip that he isn't a boxer. It's not his rule set. So, you know, if you're someone who's analyzing this fight of who's going to win, when you got a guy saying that, it's hard to say that he would win this fight, to be honest. You know, that this makes me want to say that Jake is going to win even more. I mean, you heard it from the horse's mouth. Andrew said it himself. He's not a boxer. I mean, he isn't. And you could argue neither is Jake, but Jake has been training like a boxer. That's the thing. He has been for the last couple of years. Andrew Tate, yeah, he does post some training clips on social media of him sparring, beating people up, but he's not training against top level guys. You know, he's not in actual training camps. There's a big difference. And I think you could also make the argument that the fight that makes more sense, the fight that would be more competitive and more entertaining, might just be Andrew Tate versus Logan Paul. And in this next clip, we'll hear Andrew Tate talk about a possible 2v2 fight, him and his brother Tristan versus Jake and Logan. And this is what Andrew Tate had to say.
Okay, two brothers, one cage. Jake, Logan, you, Tristan. Who comes out alive?
You know what? I'm trying so hard to not start internet beefs. I'm really trying not to.
You could say Jake and Logan, man.
Bro,
Don't worry about it.
No, I can't lie. Bro, I'm going through life. I'm trying to live peaceful now. I've got Fed agents in my house. Matrix is after me. I'm just trying to live peaceful. But of course, I have absolute faith in myself and my brother, and I know what we've been through, and I know the kind of men we are.
So look, there you guys have it. Is this fight going to happen next? I mean, I think there's a really good possibility, to be honest. I think after this past weekend, after Jake defeated Mike Tyson, a lot of people were, one, upset with Jake Paul that this fight even took place, and a lot of people probably will boycott Jake's next fight. But number two, a lot of people are actually ready to see Jake challenge himself and fight someone who can actually hurt him. And I think Andrew is definitely capable of hurting Jake if he catches him with a nice shot on the chin. I mean, anyone can be knocked out, including Jake Paul. I'm still saying Jake Paul defeats Andrew Tate, but Andrew is a dangerous, unpredictable fight for Jake Paul. Financially, it makes a lot of sense. I think publicity-wise, marketing-wise, this fight would be very easy to promote. Again, both of these guys have a lot of haters. A lot of people want to see each one of them get knocked out. I think this fight easily does over 500,000 pay-per-view buys, upwards to 800,000. I don't know if I want to say 1 million because we really don't know what pay-per-view sales Andrew brings to the table. But based off his analytics, based off his controversy in social media, safe to assume that a lot of people want to see Andrew get knocked out. And I genuinely think there is a good possibility that this fight happens next. Of course, Andrew Tate, excuse me, Andrew is dealing with some legal issues right now, but you heard it himself. I mean, after he gets over the legal issues, if he gets over the legal issues, I think he would entertain this fight, especially for the right dollar amount. But there you guys have it. Please be sure to leave your thoughts about this fight in the comment section down below. Who do you think would win? Are you going with Andrew or are you going with Jake Paul? But anyways, guys, that will do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it all the way to the end, please remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already, and YouTube thinks that you'll enjoy this video next.